afternoon, fellow tankers. It's Commander Denalii here, and this is why I really love the T-29. It's just an amazing tank. The hull on this thing isn't great, but the turret, I mean, you can play peekaboo over hilltops and just expose your turret. You're going to have some fantastic matches in this thing. Even side scraping and stuff like that, as long as you keep your armor angled, this tank is it's fantastic. Yeah, I've already done a few videos on the Tiger and everything like that, although I was waiting to get some good footage of the T-29 to do kind of a comparison. I'm not going to show any clips of the Tiger in this video, but overall the Tiger is, on paper, it's better than the T-29. We'll get into that in just a moment. But yeah, I also compared it to the Chinese IS-2, just to kind of see how all three of them stacked up against each other. So, I mean, granted, if you're a good player, I mean, you can make any of these tanks shine. They're all wonderful tanks, they really are. On paper, though, the Tiger seems to be better than both the T-29 and the IS-2. So, yeah, here I was just having some fun, went around a corner because I noticed these guys were trying to roll up really quick and just mess my team up, and I decided to take out the biggest threat first right there, which was that tank destroyer over the Sherman. So when I first rolled around the corner, I did see another tank that was low on health. He was a one-shot kill, so he had to go first just to, you know, get one gun out of the fight. That's usually where my priorities lie, is if somebody's on low health, you can get them out quick and get a gun out of the game. And then if you have two tanks that are full health, you want to take the most dangerous one out first, you know, providing you have the gun, the penetration, and everything like that to be able to take out said threat. So yeah, this is just to show you how a T-29 can do on a city map. Granted, I didn't get targeted a lot in this, but you know, that first corner, if I would have just rolled around there without trying to side scrape, I mean, I could have died very easily with 4 tanks that were sitting there. They would have just tracked me and kept hitting me in the lower plate. In the lower plate, the armor is not that great in this thing. You can pin it pretty easily, even with some tier 5 vehicles. So yeah, now we're just playing the cleanup game. As you can see, we're up by a bunch of tanks here. They've got a grand total of 4 left, and I think we've still got 9 tanks left. So I mean, it's a 5 or 6 tank difference right there. And just shooting that T-29 inside just baited him out really easy. Yeah, he and I kind of had the same ideas to try to get side shots, but as soon as I start angling my armor, he pretty much does the same. He had a quicker reload. He probably has a rammer, but that's not a big deal. I'll put one into his front slope and finish him. And as for these last 2 guys, it's just cleanup, so we're just going to drive back here, put some rounds in them. I liked playing this tank for the simple reason, you don't have to do a whole lot of premium rounds. As you see, I got some premium rounds on it, 5, but I don't use them unless I get into the tier 8, tier 9 battles, and I'm having troubles pinning a target. But this tank can make some great money, enough to buy some decent equipment. Yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys like this replay. We're gonna get into some of the stats now. Like I said, we're gonna compare the T-29, the Tiger, and the Chinese IS-2. First, we're gonna do it stock, and then we're gonna go with the final packages. So, stock, pretty much. The rate of fire on the T-29 outshines the other two. It's got 16.67 rounds per minute, which means it's got a reload of 3.6 seconds. The Tiger can shoot 15 rounds a minute, which is about a 4-second reload. It's 4 seconds flat, actually. And then the IS-2 has 6.45 rounds per minute, which is a 9.3-second reload. The reason it's got a way longer reload and it's got less rounds per minute is just simply because of the damage difference between the tanks. If they was to give it a reload that was, you know, close to the T-29 or close to the Tiger, it would pretty much do, you know, double the amount of damage they could do, and it would just be way too OP. The aim time on these tanks is pretty similar. Well, the T-29 and the Tiger are the same. They're both at 2.29 seconds, whereas the IS-2 is 2.9. It's pretty much got, I guess you could just call it a derp gun for the most part. I mean, compared to the other heavies in the Tier 7 lineup. The accuracy on these tanks, though, I mean, the T-29 and the IS-2 have just shit for accuracy. The T-29 is 0.4, and when you're shooting, you know, a couple hundred meters, that can miss a target anywhere 15 to 20 meters. The IS-2 has a 0.42 dispersion, and then the Tiger has a 0.34. So the Tiger's got the most accurate gun. It's got a really quick reload. It's wonderful. The penetration on these tanks, the T-29 has the least penetration at 128. The Tiger has a decent penetration at 150, and the IS-2 has a penetration of 175. Of course, these are the average values, not the mins and maxes. The damage that you can get per shot, also again averages, is the T-29 does 115, the Tiger does 135, the IS-2 does 250. So the damage per minute on these tanks, I mean, there's a big difference between the IS-2 and the Tiger. As for the T-29 and Tiger, it's not that much. The T-29 does just over 1900 DPM. The Tiger has just over 2000 DPM, and the IS-2 does just over 1600 DPM. So I mean, they're all kind of well-rounded in their own way. They're all good tanks, like I said. View range on these things is pretty good. It's 330 for the T-29, it's 370 for the Tiger, and it's 350 for the IS-2. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the way I like to play the IS-2, it's more of a medium. You know, you pretty much just assist on the tanks. So, you know, you find a tank with full health, and you got T-29 and Tiger facing off with them and everything. You wait till they get the attention of that tank, and then you can pop around a corner, aim in, and you can get a shot off, and you can do a massive amount of damage, and you can help ensure the victory in that area. Which is a great thing. The armor on these tanks isn't great. You've got the American, which actually has the best armor. It's 102 in the front, 76 in the sides. The Tiger has 100 in the front, 80 in the sides, and 80 in the rear. So the sides and rear are better, whereas the front is just 2 millimeters less. So you may as well say it's even. The IS-2 is 90 in the front, 90 in the sides, and 60 in the rear. So as for hulls, those are pretty good. Pretty much want to stay hulled down in them. I mean, the Tiger, I mean, you should stay hulled down, but I mean, you got the same armor in the turret as you do the hull. Literally the same. It's 100 in the front, 80 on the sides, and 80 in the rear. It's just the turret is a smaller target. The American turret, though, that thing is strong. It's got 279 millimeters of protection in the front, 127 on the sides, and 101 in the rear. So as long as you're exposing your turret only, then you're good to go. But yeah, like I was saying, the turret is where the T-29 just really shines. The IS-2, I mean, it's an average turret. It's got 100 millimeters in the front, 90 on the sides, and 90 in the rear. So it's pretty much the same as the hull armor in the IS-2, except the front has an additional 10 millimeters of protection. But now, if we go up to the final upgrades on these vehicles, stuff kind of changes around on them. So let's see here. Oh, I didn't talk about speed limits, but that's fine. The T-32 can do 35 km/h in the final package. The Tiger can do 40, and the IS-2 can do 37. So I mean, they're all pretty fast tanks. There's not a large difference between any of these three tanks. Yeah, and in reverse, it's 12 km/h for the T-29 and the Tiger, and 14 for the IS-2. So, talking about the armor values, they stay the same, pretty much. The Tiger has 100 millimeters in the front, 90 on the sides, and 90 in the rear. So as long as you're exposing your turret only, then you're good to go. The armor values, they stay the same, pretty much. minimal changes on any of it. So we're not going to talk about that at all. Chance for fire. I found this interesting. In the T-29 and the Tiger, they have a 20% chance to get caught on fire when they're shot in the engine compartment, whereas the IS-2 only has a 12% chance of fire. So, you know, I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. So carry fire extinguishers. The view range on these vehicles changes dramatically with the final package. The Tiger and the T-29 both have 380 meters of view range, whereas the IS-2 only has 350. The turret traverse on the T-29 is 26 degrees per second. The Tiger is 18 degrees per second, and the IS-2 is 28 degrees per second. So not a big difference between the T-29 and the IS-2, but the Tiger is just it's got a slower turret. So the penetration on these final guns, it goes up a lot. With the first package, we were looking at 128 on the T-29 with the first package, and on the final package, it's 198 millimeters protection. The Tiger's penetration goes from 150 all the way to 203, and the IS-2 goes, well, it stays at 175. It stays at 175. And these are just standard AP rounds, you know, just, you know, the average penetration rates. I'm not going to go mins and maxes. Yeah, I mean, the damage on these shells, I mean, the American one, it starts off at 115 damage for the T-29, and it goes all the way up to 320 with the final package. The Tiger goes from 135 damage to 240 damage, and the IS-2 goes from 250 to 390. And with these higher damage values, you do have a longer reload. So yeah, as long as you're strafing corners and doing everything like you should do, you know, angling your armor, everything like that, you can have some very, very good fights. So yeah. With all that in mind, I really hope you enjoyed this footage. As you can see, we're at that point in the video where I'm literally just driving all the way across the map and looking for this last tank to kill. And it's just a Churchill that's trying to run away. I believe he is, because when I go around this corner, I see him and it looks like he's going the opposite direction, trying to go quick. I put a round into him and draws attention, and just I'm just going to keep lighting him up. I am going to get kind of cocky here, just kind of stop and let him try to drive around and stuff like that, but I'm just going to keep lighting him up and just take him out of the fight, and that's just going to be the end of this match. So, in the T-29, I've done approximately 100 battles. This is the only time I've gotten the Radley-Walters medal. I love that medal. It just, you got really lucky to get it. I don't think I'm going to be the best player in the world, but if you have other really good players on your team, and they keep killing people, you're not going to get it. So, I mean, you got to get kind of lucky with the draw of players on your team and players on the enemy team, and just shit on people, and, you know, just get really, really lucky. Yeah, other than that, I mean, gotten a bunch of high calibers. I believe I'm on my 10 or 11th high caliber. Gotten 6 or 8 steel walls. Gotten Confederate a couple times. Even with this gun and how bad the accuracy is on it, I have gotten 5 or 6 sniper medals and 2 Devastator medals. I almost had the Radley-Walters a second time. I was 1 kill shy. And then the guy went and drowned himself, so, you know, it's whatever, that's fine. But yeah, as you can see, the last battle I made 150,000 silver. In this battle I made 90,000 silver. So, I mean, this tank can make a lot of money if you're not firing those gold rounds. And, yeah, I mean, even if you do, I think they're about 400, maybe, I think they're just about 4,000 silver each. So I mean, even with 5, that's 20 grand, and that's 2 battles, 40. I mean, this is still 200,000 in a grand total of about, you know, 15 minutes of gameplay. So I mean, it can make a lot of money. But other than that, till next time, you guys should just go out and kill some shit like I do. Have fun with it. We'll see you next time.